A good time to be alive. Welcome back, guys. I know I've been away for a few days. I've been super busy. There's so many things going on this side of the world, but I hope you guys are doing great on your side, respectively. And I hope that everyone is staying safe and healthy, especially. I believe now that COVID is transitioning very much to a regular flu in most countries. So I hope it stays that way, and I hope that everyone is doing well. All right, let's get to it. Now, we've got some really juicy news. And I know everyone on YouTube has covered this in the last 3 4 days, but I have to. I just have to because we've been there. We've been there through this. We have seen what this did to people. We know what the Restore the Snyderverse movement was and how it impacted the entire world from being called like a reaction from a bunch of geeks to being called all sorts of horrible things. Actually, people say it's just toxic fandom. People just can't be happy with what they get, just accept the fact that DC is crap, blah blah, and all these nonsense. The problem that it was just that the majority didn't understand what kind of film it was, and that's the true for most cases. There are a lot of great films out there that the vast majority of people wouldn't understand. Like there's mainstream media, and then there's that niche area where you have very unique talents. Like, for example, how many people actually listen to Oprah, like the music, Oprah music, not Oprah Winfrey, like the songs, right? Oprah music. That there's so many types of styles of art out there, and not everyone appreciates it because, well, they don't quite fully understand it. And I think that's very much the case for what Zack Snyder's filmmaking was. And as I've reported in the past, it's just the way the world works. There's always going to be a majority of people who think they're right, but that's not how it works. Just because there's more people telling you one thing, it doesn't immediately make it right. The majority, that's kind of questioning democracy, but I guess that's the truth. Democracy is not necessarily the best thing in the world. I think recently we're starting to realize it's more and more true. Anyway, let's get to it. So, what an amazing thing. Zack Snyder nabs Oscars cheer moment and Oscars fan favorite at the Oscars 2020. This is an article from Vanity Fair. I believe I have one from Screen Rant as well. Both of them covered it pretty well. But it's pretty impressive because they not only trumped, Avengers Endgame's scene, the Matrix dodging bullet. Actually, I'm not sure why the Matrix dodging a bullet ended up in this time, like this era. That's really strange though. But anyway, Spider-Man No Way Home's moment when all the Spider-Man are swinging together, and then yeah, Jennifer Hudson. I'm telling you in Dreamgirls. Yeah, Cinderella, Minamata. There's a few different scenes and whatever, pretty interesting. I think that the only real challenge for Zack Snyder's Justice League, I believe the only real challenge was the Avengers Assemble moment in Endgame. Now, you guys know how much I hate that film, but I have to admit that's probably the best cheer moment seen in the Avengers finale. Like, that's pretty much it. There's nothing else really. Like, everything after that scene did go south. Yes, Doctor Strange was holding a water wall, and everyone is fighting with the Infinity Gauntlet in place when they can just bottle it away, blah blah, all this nonsense. But still, that was a really good moment. Whereas I feel that the Spider-Man moment in Spider-Man No Way Home, all the three Spider-Mans doing together, yes, it's cool and fun, and yes, they're playing with nostalgia, but I don't really think it stands up to the fact that in Avengers Endgame, all the Avengers for once came together, stood together, and in the command of Captain America, went, American superhero style to war against the alien invasion of Thanos. And I think that was pretty cool. I think that was very much the better moment. But definitely, hands down, I think Zack Snyder's Justice League had one insanely good moment, and that was the Flash turning back time scene that really flipped the switch on the movie. Because you're starting to get, warm into the film, starting to realize Superman is back. Oh, he's just gonna, it's over now for the bad guy. He's just gonna beat him up, and the movie's gonna end. But that didn't turn out to be the case. It turns out that Cyborg was not able to stop the mother boxes, and they fused together, and Flash got shot. And as a result, the mother boxes fuse and cause this mass explosion, and even Superman literally gets just dismantled. Like his body matter just gets dismembered and dismantled, and basically blown up into millions of bits. Like none of the superheroes survived that, right? And then as the explosion is coming towards Flash, he, in that panic moment and adrenaline rush, he actually kicks into the Speed Force and, basically shows his true potential to turn back time. And also the moment where he tells himself, he has this monologue where he says, you were right, Dad. You know, um, I am one of the best of the best. And that redeeming moment he has as a son, that was not really able to be there for his father or solve the murder of his mom, and all these kind of things. I think that moment set just so beautifully well with the backstory and the history, and all culminated within a few moments in that film. Like the dialogues he has with his dad early on is really what was so important for him, in that moment in this film. And yeah, it was so beautiful, so well done. And I mean, I think it's debatable. If you ask me honestly, I think it's a 50-50 between Endgame and the Flash scene. But I think it is truly justice for the Justice League to have won it, because one very important thing happened. If you all remember, in 2016 flashbacks, right? The horror when we realized that we were not watching Zack Snyder's movie, when you realize that these scenes just don't make sense. The red sky, the brightness, the color. Oh, look at that! It's so horrible. Look at the color grading. Oh God, it looks absolutely disgusting. And then look at this, right? There's so many things going on. Like you should guys should see this in HD, but there's so many things going on here. It's just absolutely insane. The scene is so well crafted, and the best part is the fact that Warner Brothers decided that, yeah, there we go. Warner Brothers responded to the Flash time travel with perplexity, stating they were just like, I don't understand this. Des Jardin also stated that Barry's time travel was one of the first things they threw out. This is the biggest slap, right? I'm not quoting any Will Smith memes, right? You guys should just give him a break, let the guy go and recuperate and realize about whatever that has happened. I'm not going to cite anyone on that topic. I think it's just not right to show physical violence to anyone, especially when you can use your words. Because Will Smith was under no physical threat to have gone to slap that person. That's just my opinion. Once again, I don't want to get hated on because I'm, not like because I'm not condoning his act or whatever. But anyway, that aside, this is the biggest slap of the week. It's not Will Smith and Chris Rock. It's definitely the scene that was cut out by Warner Brothers was the one that wins the Oscars cheer moment. And yeah, I think this sums up the cinema and the state of cinema that we have had in the past few years. I think this sums up everything that has been going wrong. I feel that it's all like been happening in a domino effect, because I remember Game of Thrones was doing so well. It was like my favorite series. I thought this is the best thing in the world until the last season came out. And the last two seasons especially started to lean towards protecting its characters too much. And it became too obvious that the series is sort of like differing from the original route that they were taking, which was being super daring and willing to kill off their characters, to something else. And I think a lot of films from then just went really, really, you know, southwards, I guess. Endgame was bad, there's like honestly, I think something seriously wrong happened to cinema when people expect everyone to follow a fixed formula, like protect the characters that are selling the money, give them all the color and the lights and try to sell their toys, protect them, make sure that they're all well raised so we can milk them for the next 10 years, and these morons will keep watching our films and paying us money. Yeah, that's I think what is happening in these recent studios. And I think the pandemic has sort of knocked everyone off their feet a little bit and made them, rethink just what has been going on, because when cinema went down and the money was completely halted. Everyone was trying to rush into the TV series industry and whatever. I think that eventually people are realizing the formula no longer works. You gotta be daring. You gotta be like the first season of Game of Thrones. You gotta be like the ending of Infinity War. I mean, it's fine. You want to use time travel to bring your characters back. I think that's great, but you also gotta be a little more realistic. In a sense where perhaps it can go wrong. Perhaps Superman is, like the fact that people hate BVS, right? The fact that people don't understand BVS, that in itself is BBS proving the point that people are just not ready to understand a world where this alien is just there among us trying to sort things out, because he or she thinks that it's the right thing to do, whereas the implications that has on the world's politics and economy and the concept of religious beliefs and whatever, the way it'll flip us realistically, it's something that no one can truly imagine. People think that it's just gonna be a colorful story about Superman saving the day Lois is falling down and he saves her, and then Perry White is just gonna be some geeky guy who's just helping out in the Daily Bugle, and everything's gonna go fine. And it doesn't have to be that way, guys. It can totally be injustice. It can totally be even I think, what is that, Justice League Dark, right? Justice League Dark, yeah, that's pretty cool actually. And I think the most daring thing, I think hands down the most daring thing Marvel has ever done, let me pull it up, is this gem, Logan. Logan is the most daring, the most visionary, a truly futuristic future film that Marvel had done. And yeah, James Mangold, man, you have some serious guts pulling this off. It's his own story, right? Yeah, it's his own story. Scott Frank's screenplay. This is such a beautiful movie. The fact that Charles Xavier, the most powerful mutant, the one who was known as basically the father of mutants, the protector of mutants, the one that brought them all together, was the one that basically ended them. His seizure was the one that actually killed all of them. And the only one that could survive that potentially was Wolverine, who's forced to sort of take care of this walking, this time bomb on a wheelchair and try to live the remainder of his days. And he's aging super slowly because of his healing factor. And that's the most painful thing you can imagine. Because, yeah, you have your glory days, right? You lived, maybe 200-300 years longer than everyone else. But now you're going to age for 100 years longer than everyone else, and that's gotta hurt, like, honestly. And the way it is depicted in this film, the Johnny Cash song in the trailer, and Sir Patrick Stewart, of course, as Xavier is just something else, right? And then yeah, Daphne Keane coming in as the new X 23, right? Yeah, I think this is just really. Wait, is it X 23? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so it's just really, really well done. And I think we need more daring takes. And Justice League was something that I think is going to take Warner Brothers back to the drawing board. And we are definitely getting the rest of Zack Snyder's vision. I think it's, I think it's a given. There's no doubt. Make your own future. Make your own past. It's all right now. And I think it is true for us Snyder Cut fans that we are definitely making our own future. And Warner Brothers can't escape the Snyder Cut. Yeah, I think it's true. There's really no escape. We did it, guys. We did it. And whether or not you are a fan of Zack Snyder and his movies, I think that you could take this as a win for cinema, or sort of the fans of cinema, because this could have been a Marvel movie. This could have been a non superhero. It could have even been a side movie, like Zorro or something, or Men in Black or something. Perhaps they didn't want to take Men in Black as violent or as outgoing as the film would have been. Perhaps they didn't want to take a scene where people actually questioned like serious notions and death and the violence, especially after hearing how they are recent. I found out that I believe people are talking they're recently censoring the Falcon and Winter Soldier series. I believe there's two versions of it. Especially the new Captain America beating up people. There's apparently a version without the blood or something like that. And I think that censorship is really not necessary. You have the cartoons for the kids. You have the cartoons for the kids. You have cartoons for adults. You can have a movie for the kids. You already have Marvel, right? The TV series, you think the TV series Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to be watched by kids? It's so boring even for adults. Like, you really have to sit into the idea that that's going to be an ordinary story of two superheroes, like very ordinary superheroes without much superpowers, for it to be appealing even to the adult audience. You don't need kids to be watching that anyway. But yeah, that's just something I have to point out. um, and before I say Dostoevsky, I really hope that it's just a matter of time before we hear the big news coming from the man himself, who I'm sure is super busy right now with his own other Snyderverse, Rebel Moon, yeah. And yeah, I don't usually cover news like this. It's something new for me, and I'm not really sure how to go about it. But the thing I really like to point out is when people realize that there is a bigger picture, and it's important to understand that art is something that you should not truly restrict. You can make a movie for whatever it is. You want to make a comedy movie? Sure, hire a comedy director, tell him this is what it's going to be, and give him the freedom to keep it within that restriction. But when you hire a visionary director such as Zack Snyder, a man who's made what, the 300 and Watchmen, do you expect him to make Justice League for kids? Dostoevsky? Seriously? This is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get an Oscar worthy cheer moment. Hell, you're probably gonna get an Oscars if you let him just go all out. For all you know, he might just make the greatest CBM of all time. And it's just a matter of time, I suppose. Because I think most of us do know what's going to happen in Justice League 2 and 3. I think most of us have seen the leaked storyboards and whatever. And we all know that there's a very sensitive story with Lois, and some people may or may not like it. But I think it's very realistic in a real world where, if Superman is dead and Lois does hang out a lot with Bruce Wayne, perhaps two human beings might, eventually fall in love. And I mean, you don't know that Superman is coming back, right? So yeah, it's pretty insane, the possibilities, and it does, really give me goosebumps just thinking about what we might be getting in the next few years. And I really, feel that this is just another reason for us to keep living, honestly, because of amazing things like this. And whether it's Zack Snyder's film, or whether it's another Spider-Man film, or whether it's just another Godfather film or Matrix or whatever, if there's a thing out there, that you truly love, that truly inspires you, that's truly unhinged, uncensored, raw to it, to itself, questioning the motives that it's supposed to, that's intended to by the director, the artist behind it, I think that there's really no reason we should hold back. And this was the film that really unleashed the fans and brought the film back to life. And I think we should just go all out in supporting the notion that Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3 should continue to be made. And it's going to be history. It's going to be in the books. And it's going to be a reason other film producers need not be so afraid to bargain with the cinema to sort of trim off the important things that they wanted to create of the movie. Because if everyone follows the same boring formula, there's really nothing else to look forward to. Anyway, speaking of which, I am interested to watch Moon Knight. I really hope that it lives up to the horror element and concept. I'm not sure if there's any gore in it. But I do hear the horror is one of its key elements, so I'm really looking forward to it. And perhaps I'll watch Logan again because this is just one of those movies that I feel deserves a real rewatch. And if you guys have not, I really recommend you watch this film. So yeah, congratulations to Zack Snyder's fans, Zack Snyder's team, Zack Snyder, Deborah Snyder, and all the actors who worked together on making this happen. We did it, guys. I mean, this is just amazing. And let's catch our breath and do it again. Adios, guys. Or should I say Dostoevsky? Nah, let's never do that.